see you. I was having to go through the calendar there to work out when it was. I think it was nearly 9 years ago that you signed. You walked through the door over in, was it over in Ireland?
In Ireland, yeah.
Pre-season. 9 years ago, obviously, difficult kind of start. You ended up out of loan a couple of times in the Championship. Made your Champions League debut, won a trophy. What did it feel like last week scoring your first Champions League goal, and are there more to come?
Felt amazing. Also a relief as well. Going back a few years, playing the Champions League was something that I wanted to achieve. I managed to make my debut in the San Siro, and then after that it's like, right, when can I get my first goal, when can I get my first assist? And yeah, I've done well to get some assists, but that first goal was eluding me and bearing to be a bit tricky to get. But yeah, with a little bit of help, finally got it.
How do you feel about this game tomorrow night? Because the schedule has been relentless, some really high-level games where nothing can really give. You play a team tomorrow where you're 6-1 up from the first leg. A lot of people maybe look at it and think, well, it can maybe sort of take the foot off the gas a little bit. How do you guys feel when you've got Everton at home at the weekend, Man United on the back of that, and then so many games coming thick and fast? How do you view this game tomorrow?
Well, firstly, it's nice just to be back at home. We've had 4 really tough away games in a row, and yeah, just to be back in our living room, so to say, that's actually something that we're all looking forward to. So yes, it's just nice to be back in front of our fans and playing in our stadium again. So we're really looking forward to tomorrow. So yeah, we know it's going to be a tricky game. Still a lot of work to do, but yeah, we're just happy to be back with home comforts.
Nisha, Daniel, then George, please.
Hi Jacob, within touching distance of the last 16 now, what would it mean to you and the players to have taken the club, to that top table in Europe?
It would be amazing. I think this group over the last four seasons, we've been reaching new heights in different ways, and this is another milestone which we can achieve. And yeah, if we can do that, we'll be super buzzed about it, because yeah, we've done some really good things in previous seasons, and this will be another one to add to it.
You made history in Baku, Anthony Gordon breaking Shearer's record, biggest ever win in the Champions League for the club. To produce something of that, that spectacular, of that context, of that history at St James's Park, does it make you hungry to do that back in your living room, as you say?
Yeah, I think people who were watching at home, I think they would have been blown away with our start out in Baku, because I certainly was on the bench watching it. I was like, wow, go on guys. So no, it was a really strong performance, and when we're our aggressive front-footed self, that's what we're capable of, and everyone in the Premier League knows about that. And I think we've showed a good account of ourselves so far in the Champions League, and yeah, that was just a combination of everything going right for us, and delivering our performance at a really high level.
Daniel, George, then Damien, please.
Jacob, you're one of the most senior players at the club now in terms of how long you've been here. You're part of the leadership group as well. How much does all that mean to you to be at the club that, of course, you grew up supporting?
Feels amazing. Even to have a leadership role, that's awesome as well. And I've had some really good mentors over the years, over the nine years that I've been here. Matt Ritchie for one. He was amazing for me, and yeah, I sort of took a lot from him. And I remember he was one of the first people I reached out to, and I got elected into the leadership group. And yeah, he said he had sensed them sort of qualities in me from early on. So yeah, no, it's good achievement to get while I've been here, and it is also something that I think I've added well to the group.
Of course, you had loan spells as well in your earlier years at Newcastle. Did you ever envisage when you were were perhaps away at West Brom, for example, that you get back to the club and be at a stage of your career where you're in that group and of course the club is in the Champions League?
At West Brom, no. But then when I went to Sheffield Wednesday, yes, I could start seeing like a resurgence. So yeah, everyone has a similar journey that they want to go on. There's just different paths, and that was my path. And yeah, luckily when I was on that loan at Sheffield Wednesday, everything started to click for me. Came back, and then yeah, that's where I feel Jacob Murphy 2.0 was kind of formed, and personally a good couple of seasons under Steve Bruce, and then Gaffer came in, and yeah, the rest is history.
George, Damien, then Martin, please.
Hi Jacob, my question's about leadership as well, because it's felt like the senior players have really sort of stepped forward again in the last two weeks or so, this little mini reset. What does being a member of the leadership group actually entail? What are the logistics of that? I mean, do you meet once a month? Do you have a WhatsApp group? Do you have a special badge? Like, what do you do? And what is your sort of version of leadership?
So we do have a WhatsApp group, and we'll talk on there, and we'll put messages in there before games about things that we want to kind of make people aware of in the build up of to games and stuff like that. But within the leadership group, everyone's got different qualities, and then yeah, for myself, it's, as you can tell from my voice, I'm not the loudest at shouting and stuff like that. So yeah, I like to be able to lead by example with my output, show people what it's like to be doing the right things. And I think the group is really good at following suit when they see good behaviours in front of them. We have Bernie, who leads by example with voice and with action. Trips leads by example when he's on the field. Bruno, I think that speaks for itself. Everyone can see with his performances, what sort of leader that he is and how inspiring he is. And also Nick Pope, really, really strong with his voice and his presence. So everyone has different unique things that they'll bring in the dressing room, behind closed doors, and then together that knitted in, functions a dream.
Damien, Martin, then Joe, please.
Jacob, when you arrived here, the club was newly promoted and the focus was largely on survival at that point in the Premier League. Could you have envisaged then a situation where you would have one foot in the last 16 of the Champions League?
Bluntly, no. I think everyone knew at that time that it was all about survival, and it was about survival for quite a number of years. But then things change, and goals change, everyone's belief change, and that's where we are today, where getting into the last 16 is something that everyone believes is truly achievable. So yeah, there has been change, and this is what everyone's wanted, and it's amazing to be part of.
Martin, Joe, then Craig, please.
Hi, Joe. Did you know Manchester City was your 250th appearance for Newcastle?
Yes.
I'm assuming that was a great, proud moment. Were there times that number was a bit of a fantasy? And I believe you have family from Ashington and Berkeley. How big a part have they played to help you to get to that number?
Obviously, you try and play as many games as you can. So, I've never really had a number in my head of total appearances that I wanted to achieve here. But when I was made aware by the kit man before the game that if I were to come on, that'd be my 250th game. Yeah, that was it was pretty cool. So that was good. But my parents, my family, been ever present in the journey. they've helped me a lot. I've had a lot of teammates that have helped me get to this number as well. A lot of managers, past and present, have really helped in me being able to have such longevity at the club and to see such a huge number of appearances here. So yeah, there's too many to thank for that.
With having those northeast roots, have you turned to your family in the good and the bad times here to help?
Your family are there just whenever, you know, they're always there. So it's a constant dialogue. They're with me through the highs and the lows, and that's just how it is with every family. They're always present.
Julian Craig, please.
Hi Jacob, just on the leadership group again, you obviously lost a big voice in Jamal Lascelles a couple of months ago. How has it been in the group not having him around?
Yeah, Jam was he was a big figure. He looked after everyone like really well, and I hope he doesn't mind me saying, but he was the aggressive one, and you need that in your team every now and then, and yeah, he had that, and with him it was all about total respect, and yeah, he could really lead the dressing room like that. So you know, we lose that aggression, but then we have different ways of now navigating that leadership group and making sure that we're going into every game fit and firing. You know, we've spoke a lot recently about one brain, everyone on the pitch thinking together and being a collective, doing everything, pressing together. If we're sitting off together, everything's done using one brain, and I think that's been really clear to see, especially in the last 4 games. So it's something we've identified, something we've really been making a conscious effort on, and yeah, we have to keep improving on that, and yeah, make sure that that's always evident in our play.
Hi Jacob, last year was undoubtedly the best of your career, and quite deservedly you went into this season with whispers of potential England call-ups. Now there's been a big change in dynamic at the front of the pitch this season. You've probably seen the analogy about Alex, Isak missing his charger. By the same token, have you missed your iPhone a little bit, that change of dynamic at the top of the pitch?
We know that Alex was unbelievable when he was here, and me and him had a very good connection, and I've taken the same principles into this season, but yeah, it's also finding new solutions that is going to work for myself and for new teammates and also existing teammates. So yeah, without constantly having to train, it's a bit difficult because you're using almost the match minutes as training to find the solution, which can be a bit difficult. But yeah, we're all trying different ways and trying to find solutions that works for everyone.
Entirely different topic, but to go back into the dressing room post Brentford, I believe you guys had something between yourselves where you said, almost enough is enough, we've got to start doing this for ourselves, for the manager. Can you just take us inside that? I think Kieran alluded to it last week as well, what was said and how important that was and what has followed since.
Yeah, sometimes you just need a little reset, see what everyone's saying, and if there's a common theme. And I said earlier about the one brain thinking, and if you think any of our top performances, everyone's in sync, everyone's thinking collectively, all on the same page, whether when we're pressing, when we're sitting off, everything's done without a thought, but that thought is all in sync and connected. So that's been something that we've really been pushing in the last 4 games, and I think that's been bearing fruit. So we still think that there's more for us to find, and we can achieve that with this one brain thinking.
Layla Farrell.
Despite the 6-1 win in Baku, where did Qarabag cause you most problems on the pitch?
I think we've seen from their goal, their left back / left wing back, he has a really good pace, so it's something that we have to keep an eye on in the game tomorrow. But yeah, they're a tricky customer. They get in behind very well with their 9. So again, that's something that we have to be aware. But you know, when it's a game at home, a lot of the thought is on our principles and the things that we want to implement on the game. Because if we can deliver our best performance that we're told to deliver, you know, we know that will be difficult for anybody to face.
Lee Riley to finish, please.
Yeah, Jacob, the first Champions League game in Milan, we saw you enjoying the Champions League music so much. Do you still get that same feeling now? Because it's a special time, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, when the anthem goes, I think I'm like all the fans in the stadium at the end, you know, when it goes, the champions. So yeah, I always belt that out at the end with the rest of the crowd. So yeah, it's they're moments that I never take for granted. And yeah, if you're not feeling like a kid still in their moments, and yes, I'm very serious about my work, but at the end of the day, I do the best job in the world, and I always feel, you know, that excitement, that childlike feeling when it comes to playing in such big moments and big games.
Is it like a gift to your sort of 10, 11-year-old self sometimes when you pull the shirt on, because it's a magic moment?
Yeah, it is a magic moment, and yeah, player and fans alike, it's they're just special nights, you know, everything, even sitting here with these boards, it's just different. You always see it. So yeah, you know, never take any of this for granted.